Gracias.
Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
He was trying to help his neighbor. He ended up losing his life. A 40-year-old man electrocuted while trimming tree branches.
Our crew spoke with that man's pastor today. He tells our Garrett Berger that helping others was a big part of who he was.
When the San Antonio Fire Department arrived on South San Dario Avenue, they found a grim scene. Dangling in a harness 30 feet above the ground was Alex Quintanilla. His pole saw lying in the branches nearby.
It appears that he struck the primary power line with a pole saw and was electrocuted.
It took more than an hour before Quintanilla was pronounced dead at the scene. The technical rescue team eventually getting him down, but only after CPS Energy physically de-energized the line.
Once we determined that it was going to be a recovery and not a rescue, we definitely took our time.
The fire department says it seems Quintanilla had been helping out a neighbor.
He would help people a lot on doing cutting trees. That was his work job, cutting trees.
Jose Coronado is Quintanilla's pastor and came to the scene after Quintanilla's wife called. He thinks Quintanilla is originally from Honduras and says he always seemed happy when the pastor saw him.
I know we're going to miss him a lot because he used to take care of us too at the church. Whenever we needed something, he was there to do everything, and we're gonna miss him.
CPS Energy says only professionals are allowed to trim near high voltage lines. And if you're trimming near the service line to your home, the utility says you should call 5 business days in advance so they can temporarily remove the line. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
She couldn't just stand there. Cameras recording showing Katrina Mejares jumping into action to try and save a drowning man in Woodlawn Lake this morning. She says she was on a walk, saw a crowd of people watching the man flailing in the water. While pulling him back to shore, she says he got heavy. She yelled for help. Eventually, another man who was running by got into the water to help her pull the man out.
I'm trying. Yeah. Is there somebody strong
They're
who
coming.
can help me?
They're coming.
I don't know who helped me, but I think this gentleman that they said runs here every day, he jumped in and towards the end, and we started pulling him up to shore. So thankful for him.
Bystanders started CPR. They were able to get a pulse, but he eventually died at the hospital. At this time, the name and age of the man who drowned in Woodlawn Lake has not been released. It's also not known why he was in the water in the first place.
A neighbor glad she was there to help when a toddler wandered out of his West Bexar County home on his own. Video from that neighbor's doorbell camera shows the moment that she took the 2-year-old boy into her home, trying to keep him calm and reassure him. She says she found the toddler alone Tuesday morning, walking down Hollow Trail not far from Petrenko Road, dressed in only a soiled diaper. The mother of 5 says she immediately stopped her car to get the child to safety.
It was almost 80 degrees, so I picked him up. I put him in my son's car seat that happened to already be in my car.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office took to social media to try to get information about this toddler. About 3 hours after he was found, they say his mother, 24-year-old Destiny Salaya, called to report him missing. She was arrested after they found marijuana inside her home. Child Protective Services has placed the toddler and Salaya's other children with relatives. You might remember this case. David Gibson last summer was arrested after his father's body was found inside a freezer in a home that they apparently shared.
This is him 1 year ago as he was being taken away by Bexar County Sheriff's deputies. Today, nearly a year later, Gibson sentenced to 10 years in prison, but not for murder. Erica Hernandez takes us inside the courtroom.
From a shocking discovery last summer to a courtroom sentencing filled with emotion, David Gibson's case has come to a close, but there are still unanswered questions.
To disrespect him by placing him in a freezer and not telling anybody. You have no family anymore. You are on your own.
Strong words from Matthew Gibson to his brother David Gibson after David was sentenced to 10 years in prison. David was arrested in August 2024 after a welfare check was done on his father off Rustic Trail in northeast Bexar County. The elderly man was found in a chained-up freezer and was badly decomposed. At the time, Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar said that David had been impersonating his father and it was unclear how he died. The medical examiner's office later ruled the cause of death as undetermined, and that led to David never facing a murder charge. Instead, he was charged with tampering, fabricating physical evidence with intent to impair a human corpse. In court almost a year later, David was mostly quiet, only talking when agreeing to the plea deal.
How do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Guilty.
Now sentenced, David's actions and silence have left lasting pain and no answers as to why he did what he did.
I can say with my whole heart that I don't need you. I don't want you in my life, and I will spend the rest of my days healing from the pain and the trauma that he caused.
And decided to do what you wanted to do. Take his money, take his life, and hide him away. And for that, I can never forgive you.
David must serve half of his sentence before he's eligible for parole. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
You had no choice but to connect with Simone. It's no way you could hate her, not even want to be around her, because her whole spirit was just the life of the poor. She was the life.
Loved ones gathering to remember the life of Simone Like. She was the woman who was killed after her dog attacked her last week. Emotions high last night at a balloon release outside a Northwest Side pub. San Antonio Animal Care Services says Like bitten several times by that dog on Thursday on Patricia Drive. Witnesses told San Antonio police there had been previous incidents with the same dog. However, ACS says it had no previous reports of attacks.
San Antonio Crime Stoppers releasing a photo of a stolen Camaro connected with a deadly crash. Here's what we know about what happened. This is the picture of that Camaro up close. Now, you might remember this crash from earlier this month. It happened July 17th along I-35 near Casson Road on the southwest side. San Antonio police say the driver of the Camaro was speeding and tried to go between an 18-wheeler and a small bus that was hauling a trailer. That led to a massive crash. 5 people were killed in this wreck and 23 other people were hurt. Police say the people in the Camaro took off after the crash. If you know anything that can lead to an arrest in this case, you were asked to call the number you see here, 210-224-STOP.
Check out TransGuide on this Wednesday, and we're going to take you to 410 and Blanco. Busy in both directions, the access road in one way, and you can see also what looks like it's the westbound lanes of 410 where it's also backed up. Again, this is 410 at Blanco.
All right, Sarah, how hot did we actually get today out there?
Impressively, we did not hit 100 degrees today. We just skimmed by at 99. So still today, our count for triple-digit days this year stands at 4. We barely missed the mark today. Look out there right now with those cirrus clouds. So those cirrus clouds are going to set up a beautiful sunset. This is your sunset alert. Sunset happens at 8:27. Over the 30 minutes after that, you should see beautiful, beautiful colors because of those cirrus clouds. Low humidity and temperatures falling gradually to near 80 degrees by midnight if you have any plans outdoors. Now this morning, we actually set a record low of 67. Not only did that break our record low for the day, it also was our coolest July morning in quite some time. I'll have a look at when we were last this cool in July and a look ahead to your rain chances this weekend in just a bit. Steve, Myra.
Thank you, Sarah. Nearly a month after the deadly Hill Country flooding, we still have so many questions about the damage and the loss of life there.
And happening tomorrow morning, state lawmakers are hoping to answer some of those questions. A joint legislative committee will meet in Kerrville at 9:30 tomorrow morning for what should be an all-day hearing. We expect to hear from local leaders about their response to this mass casualty event.
The lawmakers will also hear testimony from community members in the Hill Country for the first time. KSAT will be there, and we're going to be sharing the entire hearing on all of our streaming platforms.
Well, there are benefits to being on social media, from sparking creativity to making connections, but it can also have a big downside, especially for children, from disrupting daily habits like eating and sleeping, or when it becomes a child's only social interaction.
A Clarity Child Guidance Center program director Rick Edwards says it's okay for teens to engage in social media or screen time, but he says this is not the only thing they should be doing, and there should definitely be a balance.
Engagement in the community, whether it's getting outdoors with play or sports or just being out with peers, there's an opportunity that physically the endorphins get activated.
To hear more about talking to your kids about social media, make sure to watch our KSAT Community Town Hall, Social Media SOS, the effects of social media on children. It's tomorrow on KSAT Plus, KSAT.com, or any way you stream KSAT.
Still ahead here on the news at 6, it is so preventable, but it happens too often. After the break, what we know so far about a child found dead in a hot car in Poteet yesterday. We'll also talk about what can be done to stop hot car deaths.
you have a favorite restaurant or a favorite hairstylist? SA Picks is back, and we want to know who you think are the top businesses in the city. There are more than 90 categories to vote on. Just scan the QR code on your screen. You can vote for each category once a day, and you have until August 1st to vote. The finalists will be announced on August 19th, and then there'll be another round of voting from August 20th through September 12th to determine the big winners. We'll announce the winners in late September, so cast your vote now for your favorite business to be recognized as the best in San Antonio.
Victims of the deadly Hill Country floods are starting to figure out how much federal aid support they'll receive. But for people with second homes, options are slim. Coming up tonight on the Night Beat, we'll tell you the story of one couple trying to figure out what's next. And we'll talk about options when it comes to renters.
West Nile virus has been detected in Hays County. That is according to health officials there. West Nile is spread by mosquito bites. Some people don't experience any symptoms at all, while others could get fever or nausea. And in some cases, the symptoms could get more serious than that. The best defense is to avoid any standing water and to wear insect repellent. It is a tragedy that we see play out far too often. Children who die in hot cars.
Yesterday, we told you about a 4-year-old in Poteet who died in a hot car. John Paul Barajas walks us through everything we know so far about this case and what you can do to prevent this from happening.
Unfortunately, we all know how dangerous hot cars can be, or cars that are just not running can be in this South Texas heat. As for information on the 4-year-old who died yesterday, that is still limited. The family, understandably so, did not want to speak on camera earlier this afternoon when we were there, but they did want to make it clear that it was the parents of the child who found her and not anyone else. As for what Poteet City officials are saying, they expressed their condolences for the victim and their family and sent us a statement that reads in part, at the request of the Poteet Police Department, the Texas Rangers are assisting in the investigation. At this time, the circumstances remain under active investigation by the appropriate authorities. So again, it's not clear if the child was left in the car, got into the car on their own, or what exactly led to this tragic situation. However, the organization Kids and Car Safety has this advice.
Keep your car locked 100% of the time, even if you don't have children. If you do have kids in the house, keep your keys and key fobs out of reach 100% of the time. Grab a stuffed animal, put that stuffy in the backseat of your car. It's going to live there. And then anytime you buckle the baby into the car seat, you're going to bring that stuffy up to the front seat with you as a visual and physical cue in your lap that your child is with you. This thing just doesn't discriminate. It can literally happen to anybody.
And at this time, no charges have been filed in the case. As we learn more, we'll get that to you. And it's also important to note that this is the second child who's lost their life in a hot car that we've reported on this summer. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
And I think there's a little bit of a misnomer that it has to be like really hot for this to happen. I mean, it heats up in cars so quickly.
Oh yeah, so fast and gets even that much hotter.
Even if it's just 85 degrees outside.
Exactly.
A car can become an oven. So that is very important tips that were given to us by that authority there about what to do to prevent these kind of hot car deaths. Very important information. We're going to transition now and talk about how over the weekend we do have a chance for some rain. It's only about a 30% chance, but that's the big weather story. The other big weather story is that we had a very cool morning. Take a look at these morning lows. It was only in the 50s in the Hill Country in July, 57 in Bernie, and 57 in Comfort. Here in San Antonio, we got down to 67 degrees in San Antonio. Not only is that a record for the day, but it is our coolest July morning since 2019. We can hit the 60s, usually though earlier in July. We're at the end of July and got down to 67 in San Antonio. A record low for the day, that record set back in 1949. All right, why were we able to be so cool and then so hot? This is a look at the high temperatures this afternoon. We got up to 99 in San Antonio, 102 in Pleasanton. I want you to think about the desert. Perhaps you visited Big Bend out in West Texas, or maybe even areas like Arizona and New Mexico. It gets cool in the morning and hot in the afternoons. Why? Because those areas are dry, like the desert. And we're dry out there. We've got dew points only in the 40s and even in the 30s in some areas. That's chapstick weather. You need a little extra chapstick when it's that dry outside. We are going to be drier in the morning tomorrow, but watch what happens by the afternoon. Notice that Gulf moisture returns, and by tomorrow in the afternoon, it will be noticeably humid outside. Dry in the morning, though, tomorrow, so we are going to have another cool-ish start, right around 72. Not nearly as cool as it was this morning, though. We're going to have cirrus clouds out there, and around noon, it'll be 92. And then in the afternoon, hot, 100 degrees for the forecast high, and there's a small 10% chance for a stray shower. If you get a shower tomorrow, make sure to grab a lottery ticket, because again, you only have about a 10% chance for a stray shower tomorrow. Otherwise, it is going to be hot and it is going to be muggy in the afternoon. 102 in Del Rio, 100 in Eagle Pass, 103 in Carrizo Springs, 104 in Cotulla, 105 in Laredo for the high, and in the upper 90s across the hill country. Now, we've got that heat high overhead. That's why we've been able to be hot and dry. That heat high is going to move a little bit more to the west, and in its wake, we've got a cool front that's set up across the Midwest. Now, this cool front is going to move through North Texas, but unfortunately for us, we're not going to see cooler air here in San Antonio, because that front will fire off a few storms in North Texas and then fizzle out before it makes it to San Antonio. But those storms that fire up across North Texas, they've got a shot to make it to San Antonio on Saturday. About a 30% chance for you to see rain in your backyard. So kind of like last weekend. Remember last weekend? We had a few downpours in the afternoon. That's going to be the case on Saturday. Otherwise, it's going to be very hot to start the full week of August. Monday through Wednesday will be near 100 degrees. And hey, we are officially going to start the new school year, which means another year of Science with Sarah. If you would like me to come out to your schools and do science experiments with your kids' class, or if you're a teacher, you want me to come out, scan that QR code right there. It'll take you to a website where you can fill out a form, and you'll be entered for a random drawing to win a visit. So hope I get to see you this year.
It's a whole lot of fun. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, Cowboys head coach talking about his big guy, Guyton.
Yeah, so Shoddy hasn't talked with the media since Tyler Guyton went down the other day in practice, a knee injury that's going to keep him out about 4 to 6 weeks. Shoddy says right now it's all about showing his big guy some love. And Jaden Higgins, Texans rookie wide receiver, is talking about his connection with C.J. Stroud that was formed during the offseason. We got it coming up.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Thomas J. Henry.
Here's video of the Dallas Cowboys running at training camp today. The guys were fighting so much that head coach Brian Schottenheimer stopped practice and made the guys run. He said he wants them to play the edge in camp, but not go over it. Today was also the first time we got to talk with Shotty since left tackle Tyler Guyton went down with a knee injury on Monday that will sideline him at least 4 to 6 weeks.
He's had such a great offseason. Calvin, it's been such great growth, such great confidence, and now what he has to do is he's got to continue to grow professionally and learn how to attack rehab, no different than how he attacked learning his sets and the different things he's doing, and he's excited about that. And my stance, I'll just be very clear, my stance with guys that are injured, man, is whether they're, a couple weeks, a day-to-day thing, the year, man, is like we love them up. We love them up. We communicate with them.
Let's go to the Methodist Training Center in Houston now, where the Texans were looking to have a solid practice before the players get tomorrow off. With their first draft pick back in April, the Texans selected wide receiver Jaden Higgins at number 2 overall in the second round. The Texans are expecting big things from him. Today, he was asked about his offseason workouts with C.J. Stroud.
No, they helped a lot, of course. Really, I would say just getting to know somebody, it really helps you out. CJ is like a natural leader, someone that's going to talk to you a lot, someone that's going to tell you when you're doing things good, someone that's going to help you when you're doing things bad. So really just more so learning the person that he is and, his character.
Has it made you and Jalen try and earn it, or has he always been kind of open to the new guys coming in?
I would say both, not just CJ, but everyone. Of course, when you step into the building, you got to prove yourself, but everyone is very welcoming as well.
In case you missed it yesterday, former UTSA baseball player James Tausig, a Chicago White Sox prospect, won some all-conference awards. Tausig was named American Conference Male and American Baseball Scholar Athlete of the Year. Winning one award is pretty awesome, but both is just pure talent on and off the field. KSAT 12 Sports' Nick Mantis interviewed James on Zoom yesterday to see how the Roadrunner is doing.
What's life been like for you now that you've signed your minor league contract and you're a member of the White Sox organization?
It's certainly different. I've talked to a couple of the coaches and been like, man, like I know we just played a month ago, but this is it feels like it's a totally different game now. All the work, it's all skill, it's all kind of individualized. There's obviously still some team aspects, but it's been really cool just to, get after it with a bunch of guys who are all chasing, the same objective as you.
The American Conference Male and Baseball Scholar Athlete of the Year awards. What was it like for you when you heard that you had won not just one, but both of those awards?
Our academic advisor, Beth Nowhere, texted me this morning. She had gotten the announcement that I'd won, and I was just super happy for her, because I know those academic awards mean a lot to Beth and to Coach Hallmark and to, all the coaches on our staff. So that was always a big thing for me, just trying to do as much as I could academically, and in case baseball didn't work out, there's a pretty good thing to fall back on.
Knowing that you have that finance major, or maybe some things you said, okay, this is what I'm going to do with my first professional bit of money.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I've put basically all of it into a savings account and just trying to turn that contract into something, down the line.
It's a pretty smart move, right?
Yeah.
We'll have more with Tausig at 7 on KSAT Sports now.
Enjoy listening to the conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Larry.
You got it.
You still ahead on the news at 6. KSAT gearing up for a town hall tomorrow, all about kids and social media. A preview after the break. It's something that's been woven into our everyday lives, screen time and social media, whether we use it for entertainment or information. But social media can also have a downside, especially for children.
So Stephanie Cerna explains that counselors are urging parents to talk to kids about social media even well before your child gets a smartphone.
Who has phones? Everybody?
We asked a group of students ages 11 through 14 about phone use and social media. And they were quick to point out the benefits of social media apps, from sparking creativity to making connections.
You can talk with your friends and stuff, because I live very far away from our friends.
I like Pinterest because when you're bored, you can look at things to do. You can keep in touch with your friends, and also, you can find new ideas. Really just communicate with your friends. And it's just fun because it's something you can do when you're bored.
There's a conversation I think that is ongoing.
Clarity Child Guidance Center Program Director Rick Edwards says it's fine for kids to engage in social media and to have screen time. But the key here, he says, is that this is not the only thing they should be doing.
Engagement in the community, whether it's getting outdoors with play or sports or just being out with peers, there's an opportunity that physically the endorphins get activated.
The downside, Edwards says, is when social media impacts eating and sleeping, or when it becomes a child's only social interaction. That's why he says it's important to have a balance.
And it really is, particularly as kids get older, an ongoing kind of conversation that should start way before a kid ever gets on to any kind of media platform whatsoever.
And the best way to help your child is getting off the screen yourself.
It's not simply, oh, well, do as I say, not as I do, so I have to be off the device.
That's perhaps the biggest thing right
Yeah,
there.
that's one of the tough parts, right? Tomorrow, we're hosting a KSAT community town hall on the effects of social media on children. We are calling it Social Media SOS. It is tomorrow, July 31st, streaming on KSAT.com and KSAT Plus at 2 p.m.
Kerrville Pets Alive has been working tirelessly to help reunite hundreds of pets with their owners across the Hill Country, but they haven't been able to do it alone.
The nonprofit has gotten help from people near and far, including one 11-year-old girl donating thousands of dollars that she earned from selling cookies. Our Devin Karp shows us how her summer project is doing good with baked goods.
11-year-old Cameron Balfour says it doesn't take much to bake the world a better place. What's the secret to making a really good cookie?
A lot of love and care.
It's that love and care that inspired her to become an entrepreneur, creating Cameron's Cravings, selling cookies in her hometown of League City, and putting that money to good use.
We saw a newscast where the animals
were getting snake bites.
Right, and their paws were, hurting and getting
fatigue.
So we just wanted to help, and we didn't know that it would turn into such a big outpouring of support.
Nonprofit Kerrville Pets Alive has helped reunite more than 350 animals with their owners since the floods swept through town, making a database of lost pets, giving away food, and they haven't done it alone, asking the community for help with donations.
Our first goal was $500.
Where are you guys at right now?
7,000.
Cameron started getting orders, and a lot of them, even some from across the globe. She took every single cent she made and is giving it to Kerrville Pets Alive and a team of volunteer vets from Texas A&M.
It feels like I'm an inspiration, and I'd like to inspire other kids because when they make little impacts, then it can make a big explosion of impacts.
She might be out of cookie dough for now, but she's far from done building a business, looking to make Cameron's Cravings a permanent part of her life, donating proceeds to good causes.
I mean, maybe not making cookies because I'm getting cookie fatigue right about now. Maybe something else you can put it in a grocery store type thing to sell.
Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Cookie burnout.
You know,
it happens.
I guess it happens.
Yeah.
Look at what she's done. That's so awesome. Still ahead here on the news at 6, he is a San Antonio veteran, and he's using his passion to give back just in time for back to school. We'll show you how. This is a big clue after the break. Love one another. That is the principal guiding a barber school student who wants to help those in need.
Yeah, he's a veteran who had a third chance at life. Jaffney Gray shares how he is now helping people in our community, including families, get ready for back to school season.
Someone told me recently, and it was my wife and my mother-in-law, that why don't you take care of the community? And God came to me and said, if not you, who?
Life hasn't been easy, but here you are today, a father of how many kids?
I got 4 girls.
4 girls?
And let me tell you, they're everything in my world. And they're the reason why I want to be better and show them we take care of one another. We take care of our community, our friends, our family.
When kids are going back to school, being able to offer something as simple as a haircut could go a long way.
Yeah, it's an art. Me, I want to take my art faith-based because he's who got me here and I owe it to him.
How did you get everybody on board with offering those free cuts to those who need it in the community?
I asked them and they were completely cool with it. They had my back. And it's just like majority of us are military members. Majority of us have had hard walks of life. It's what you do with that to serve. It sounds cheesy, but at the end of the day, when someone is in need, I want to take care of people. And that's really what it comes down to. The more people we can reach, the more people we can take care of. And that's my why.
Jaffney Gray, KSAT 12 News.
That is not cheesy. Lozano and his top-of-the-line barber school family also extending their free services to people still rebuilding from the deadly Kerr County floods.
So if you or someone you know is without a home or were impacted by the floods or even just in need of a free haircut before school starts, the link to contact the barber school directly is on KSAT.com.
I want to say thank you, too, for all those barbers who are taking place. All right, let's take a live look outside right now. Didn't hit triple digits officially, but going to have a pretty nice sunset. Chances of rain.
Yeah.
And a tsunami explanation.
Sarah Spivey has it all after the break.
Aftershocks reported after a powerful magnitude 8.8 earthquake struck off the coast of Russia. That quake setting off a series of tsunami warnings in the Pacific, including Alaska, Hawaii, Washington, Oregon, and California.
And now we are seeing new video of the moment that it hit. ABC's Christiane Cordero reports.
Today, the ebb and flow of a major disaster that started in Russia put millions of people on alert.
It's one of the largest earthquakes to occur in recorded history.
In Russia's Far East coastal towns, a relentless surge of seawater triggered by the magnitude 8.8 earthquake offshore carried buildings and forced people to seek higher ground. Video posted online shows the moment the quake hit a shorefront seafood processing plant. Cars, even a crane, heavily rocking back and forth. That same area later seen inundated by water. The disaster's ripple effect sending tsunami warnings across the Pacific Rim. 2 million people in Japan were under an evacuation order that was later lifted, with no damage reported. And people in Hawaii also took precaution. Flights to the islands were canceled last night as residents and tourists sought higher ground.
There were police officers driving up and down the main street in front of the beach, telling people to leave.
The evacuation orders led to gridlock on roads from Oahu to Maui.
Oh my Lord.
In this time-lapse video from Half Moon Bay, California, you can see the boats going up and down with the waves. With the threat now receding, no major damage has been reported anywhere in the U.S. One part of the U.S. closely monitored was Crescent City, California, in the far northern region of the state. It was the only part of the West Coast that was still under a tsunami warning as of early this morning, but it was canceled hours later with no major damage reported. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Los Angeles.
You know, tsunamis are one of those things that a lot of people ask me about, particularly that kids ask me about.
Yeah.
Sarah, could we ever get a tsunami here in Texas? It would be very rare for us to see anything impact Texas, and especially here in San Antonio. We're so far inland. But I wanted to take this moment. It's a teachable moment. Let's talk a little bit about tsunamis. Okay, here's a look at that earthquake, which again was an 8.8 magnitude earthquake off of the Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia there. A massive earthquake. And as was just mentioned, there were tsunami warnings all the way out in California and even Hawaii, which is 3,000 miles away from this particular earthquake. How can that happen? How can a tsunami happen 3,000 miles away from an earthquake? Well, when an earthquake happens, again, it happens underneath the ocean. This is a tremendous amount of energy that surges and expands in every direction underwater. And as those waves approach land, what happens is the waves build, and with the water building, it actually pulls water away from the coast, which is why you'll see oftentimes before a tsunami, the water coming back away and receding from the coast. That allows waves to build, and as they get closer to land, they have nowhere to go but up. And so that's why what you see is along a shallow seafloor is a very large wave before it inundates and crashes into land, multiple waves, which will spread well inland. Again, likely not ever going to really happen here in San Antonio. And it's impressive to see how a wave in that energy can travel hundreds of miles and build speed. In fact, those waves can be traveling at 500 miles an hour because of the distance that that energy travels. And of course, it depends on a few things: the earthquake magnitude, the depth of an earthquake, and the type of an earthquake. So thankfully, again, no issues in the United States from that massive earthquake. But that's why warnings are issued, because you just don't know with tsunamis exactly how strong they're going to be until they're on land. Now, here in San Antonio, we got up to 99 degrees in San Antonio, and this morning we got down to 67. That's a huge span of temperatures. Cool in the morning, hot in the afternoon, all because of a dry atmosphere in place. We're going to have a dry morning tomorrow, not as humid, so our morning low will be cooler than average of 72. So a nice cool morning, not quite as cool as this morning, and then we'll be back to those muggy and warm mornings by Friday through the weekend. Let's take a look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast tomorrow. Waking up up at 72. Some cirrus clouds out there. By 10, it'll be 83. By noon, 92, and we'll be close to 100 once again tomorrow for the high. I did put a 10% chance for a stray shower tomorrow because we're going to have a low pressure system overhead, and so it is possible for you to see rain in your backyard. It's just a low possibility, 10% chance. You'd really only have a quick thunder shower, low rainfall accumulation. The big story tomorrow is the heat. 99 in Converse, 99 in New Braunfels, 100 in Poteet, 101 in Uvalde, 98 in Kerrville, 99 in Comfort, 101 in Bandera. That heat high right overhead, and that's why we've been seeing temperatures close to 100 degrees. That's going to move off to the west and open up the atmosphere to a cool front, which is currently working its way through Kansas right now. You can see that there's even some storms around this area of low pressure. This cool front will be moving into North Texas. It'll fall apart before it reaches San Antonio, so no cool air for us. But what that front is going to do is it's going to fire off some storms in North Texas, and those storms have a 30% chance of making it to San Antonio in the afternoons on Saturday. So over the weekend, you might be dodging some downpours in the afternoon. Otherwise, the first full week of August is going to be hot. It's going to be near 100 degrees every single day.
We got so lucky in July. When you look at that August, it's like, okay, that's August.
Yep, that is.
Yeah.
We're due. Thank you, Sarah. Well, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on ABC Prime Time at 7 o'clock. It is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire at 8, Match Game at 9 o'clock. It's Shark Tank, followed by the Night Beats at 10.
Do you
you have a favorite restaurant or a favorite hairstylist? SA Picks is back, and we want to know who you think are the top businesses in the city. There are more than 90 categories to vote on. Just scan the QR code on your screen. You can vote for each category once a day, and you have until August 1st to vote. The finalists will be announced on August 19th, and then there'll be another round of voting from August 20th through September 12th to determine the big winners. We'll announce the winners in late September, so cast your vote now for your favorite business to be recognized as the best in San Antonio. KSAT Sports Now streaming right after this newscast at 7 o'clock. Any way you stream KSAT. And we are talking a lot of pressure on the Cowboys offensive line. You get the sense they're okay with that.
I think they are okay with that. And they say in large part it's because of the way they're practicing. It's not just getting the starters ready. They're getting everybody ready. So with Tyler Guyton being down, the Cowboys really don't sound worried. Now, they do believe a lot in their starting right tackle, Terrence Steele from Steele High School. When we were out there at training camp, we had a chance to sit down and go one-on-one with him. And one of the things he talked about, which is really what I wanted to talk about the most, he bought his mom a brand new house and moved her up to the DFW area to be closer to him. He's from San Antonio. His mom was still living in San Antonio during his early playing days in the NFL, but now she's moved in up there, and of course he loves it.
Kind of appropriate, I think, with the new Superman movie out that you're talking to the Man of Steel.
Absolutely.
I think it's appropriate. All right. A lot of attention on Arch Manning and the Longhorns. Not a lot of people talking about the Aggies this year.
No, and we've brought them up a couple times just because they start off the season with the UTSA Roadrunners. But Mike Elko entering his second season with the Aggies. They started off great last year, I believe 7-1, 8-1 or something like that. But then they lost their last 3 games of the year, including their bowl game. So Elko is talking about what they learned from those losses and how he tries to impress recruits with Kyle Field.
How can you not impress recruits with Kyle Field?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. KSAT Sports Now comes your way streaming at 7 o'clock right after this show. We'll be right back.
take a look at traffic here before we go. We're going to take you to 1604 at Northwest Military. A whole lot of construction and a backup because of some of that right there from this view.
That is